Welcome to Sketchbook Explorer. In this video I'll be painting a fantasy map, a map from the Lord of the Rings, a map of the Shire and its surrounding areas including Hobbiton, Bree and Weathertop. Using the Fellowship of the Rings as a guide, I will illustrate my own map with scenes inspired by the landscapes created by J.R.R. Tolkien. In the previous video I created my own watercolor book cover for the book, and I will leave a link in the video description for you. Before we get started, if you like this video and would like to see more, please click the like and subscribe buttons. It really does help with the algorithm. So let's begin creating the map of the Shire, starting with the art materials I will be using. To create this map, I will be using pencil, ink, both nib and fine liner, watercolor paints, watercolor pencils, color pencils and white gouache. Now let's move on to the first step. In step 1, I begin by doing some rough sketches, just putting ideas down quickly without worrying about details. Step 2. Using the rough sketches as an initial base, I then put together reference material, building Lego mock-ups for background reference, and photos of myself for character pose reference. Step 3. The next step is to draw out the pencil layout using the reference. This is where I draw out the foundations for the final piece and divide the drawing into a grid of 9 sections, which I will later use to help transfer the drawing onto the final watercolor paper. In step 4, I create the final drawing on the watercolor paper, using the layout and reference as a guide. I start by dividing the paper into 9 sections similar to the pencil layout, which helps me space out the artwork properly. Step 5. In this step I am inking out the drawing, after first lightening the pencil lines with a putty eraser. Step 6. In the next step I paint over the inked artwork with watercolor paints, starting with the darkest areas first and focusing on the most prominent base colours, taking into consideration the hue of the daylight. In step 7 I use a combination of watercolor pencils and color pencils to add detail and definition. I also use a little white gouache to re-add small touches of light. And there we have it, the final map. A map to help you find your way around the Shire and beyond, from Hobbiton to Bree to Weathertop. Thank you for watching. Please click the like and subscribe buttons. Keep sketching. Bye.